welcome to HITC Sport. And remember those failed transfers? You know, the absolute deadwood flops you'd love to forget ever happened at your club? Right, well your luck's out, because today I'm going to find each Premier League club's former flop who currently looks very likely to win a league title this season. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Serge Gnabry, Bayern Munich. Yeah, well this is pretty obvious. While in North London, Serge Gnabry was often treated as some sort of chubby Oompa Loompa, shoved in the Arsenal reserve team while Arsene Wenger chose to prioritise Theo Walcott for a 13th straight season before the German was banished on loan to West Brom. I'm sorry, but if you're actually letting one of your most talented youngsters be borrowed by Tony Pulis, it's about as neglectful as letting your kids spend 3 nights at the Neverland Ranch. No wonder Gnabry's confidence had melted around his ankles after that nightmare stint at the Hawthorns. Anyway, I know RB Leipzig are putting up a half-decent fight in the Bundesliga, but let's be honest, Gnabry and Bayern Munich are going to be hoisting yet another German league title above their head in May. Aston Villa, NYLAND, Norwich. Yeah, remember NYLAND? He was the Norwegian goalie who helped Aston Villa get promoted from the Championship before being quickly replaced by Tom Heaton, and then regaining his place only to concede 6 at home in one goddamn match. Anyway, he's since been released and rocked up in Norwich City to sit on the bench, and they're 10 points clear at the top of the Championship. Lads, the last time this goalkeeping fish sandwich ever sat top of the league, he was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's #1 goalie. That shows it's been quite a while. Brighton, Leon Balogun, Rangers. Listen, when German-born defender Leon Balogun was chewed up like a wet pancake at Brighton, you'd have assumed this Nigerian international was done for in British football. After just 8 games for Brighton, he was loaned out to Wigan before getting relegated from the Championship last summer. But then Steven Gerrard stepped in to rescue this man's career, dragging his potential out of a fat bowl of tubby custard to stick him in his Rangers team, who have just won their first Scottish League title since 2011. And considering most Celtic fans will tell you that club died a death in 2012, isn't it a bit embarrassing to be losing your crown to a pack of zombies now, isn't it? Burnley, Georges Kevin NKOUDOU Besiktas. Yeah, here's 26-year-old Georges Kevin NKOUDOU, a French winger mostly ignored about PSG and Tottenham. This £11 million former Spurs winger was briefly loaned out to Burnley in 2018, but he barely played. To be fair though, like Patrick Bamford, he's also bounced back from Sean Dyche's rejection, and now he's top of the Turkish league with Besiktas. Not a bad career renaissance. Chelsea, Kevin De Bruyne, Man City. I still can't understand why in the Castle left nipple Chelsea ever let Kevin De Bruyne walk out that door. I love Jose Mourinho, but I'm sorry, failing to see De Bruyne was Frank Lampard's tailor-made successor has to be his biggest mistake. I know Cesc Fabregas turned out to be a short-term brilliant signing for Barcelona, but clearly the better choice in the long term for the club would have just been to leave the Spaniard in Spain and just promote De Bruyne into the first team, because right now he's without a doubt the best central midfielder on planet Earth and nearly 15 points clear at the top of the league with Man City. I mean, come on. Crystal Palace, Cenk Tosun, Besiktas. Okay, I realise the list of centre forwards who flopped to Sellers Park is probably about 2 miles long, but yeah, Cenk Tosun was another injury-riddled waste of time at Crystal Palace, just a pointless loan signing last season before having his cruciate ligament turned into wet spaghetti. Anyway, everything ever since loaning back to Besiktas, yeah, I know the Turkish league table is quite close, but they're 3 points clear and they won the last 5 games. So yeah, they're probably going to win their first league titles in 2017. Everton was keen PSG. Okay, yes, I realise Lille are currently top of the French league, but come on, let's be honest. Yes, Christophe Gauthier is doing an excellent job, but lads, I refuse to believe Mauricio Pochettino can't even stumble his way to a league title win when he has Mbappe and Neymar. Just no! Surely PSG are going to end up as top dogs in France this season. Of course! And when they do, it'll be a nice little career revival for Moise Kean, a 21-year-old striker whose confidence was ripped to shreds at Goodison Park. A £30 million summer arrival from Juventus, who Duncan Ferguson ripped off the pitch after just 12 minutes. No wonder he only scored 2 goals all season. Anyway, he already has 15 in less than 30 games for PSG, and he's probably going to outscore Dominic Calvert-Lewin this season, so fair play Moise. Fulham, MAARTEN, STEKELENBURG, Ajax. What was the point of MAARTEN Stekelenburg's 3 years of Fulham? This is an experienced goalkeeper who had nearly 300 games for Ajax, over 50 games for Roma, he was a World Cup finalist, and a guy who was nearly chosen ahead of David De Gea to replace Edwin van der Sar at Old Trafford. And yet, his debut season at Fulham back in 2013 ends up in relegation after losing his place to David Stockdale before winding up 4th choice goalie under Felix Magath. Just a complete waste of time. Anyway, now he's 38 years old and Ajax 2nd choice goalie. He's about to win his first Eredivisie title in 10 years, after filling the last decade with bench-warming nonsense in England. Leeds, Scott Carson, Man City. Okay, no, Scott Carson wasn't a Leeds flop, but he just wasn't given a chance at Elland Road. He made 3 Premier League appearances back in 2004 and got relegated as Paul Robinson's backup act before being sold to Liverpool. Anyway, to be fair, saying he's about to win the Premier League title is ridiculous. The man doesn't even sit on the bench for Man City. He just sits in a duffel coat in the stands while picking his nose. But hey, Man City are top of the Premier League, so I guess this former Cleaton Moore Celtic #1 is actually going to end his career having won both the Champions League with Liverpool Liverpool and Premier League with Man City without ever lifting a damn finger. Just how? Leicester, Bartosz Kapustka, Legia Warsaw. Step forward, 24-year-old Polish midfielder Bartosz Kapustka. Don't forget, he was a £7.5 million signing for the champions of England in August 2016. Penning a 5-year deal, the guy probably thought he'd made it, that he was the Polish successor to N'Golo Kante, and give it a year and he'd be the one moving to Stamford Bridge. No, instead that honour was just given to the chunky cheese sandwich of his daddy Drinkwater. Kapustka was a lightweight sack of organs, never did make his Premier League debut before just being given away to Legia Warsaw last summer, who, to be fair, are now 4 points clear at the top of the Polish league. Liverpool, Sebastian Sporting Lisbon. Remember when Sebastian Coates was a Uruguayan centre-half joke at Anfield? A defensive bowl of stale lasagna, arriving under Kenny Dalglish in 2011 so Luis Suarez would have someone to talk to. He only played 12 league games and was mostly laughed off the pitch. And to think this guy was being given more opportunity in the first team than Conor Cody. But to be fair, despite dumping him on Sunderland's porch, I'm pretty sure Liverpool fans would gladly stick him in their back four right now. After all, he's 30 years old and currently on course to win the Portuguese league title with Sporting Lisbon. He's going to be in the Champions League next season, which is more than I can say for Virgil van Dijk, Man City, Stefan Savic, Atletico Madrid. Yeah, pretty simple here. Montenegrin centre-back Stefan Savic was always an unfashionable waste of time at Man City. A £6 million signing from Fiorentina in 2011, he never could get past Julian Lescott or even Colo Torre. Was only ever given 11 games for being spat back to Italy like a soggy Lumbo the Bix. To be fair though, as first choice centre-half at Atletico Madrid, he's about to win La Liga, which will be his first title win since his Man City nightmare season. Not bad. Man United, Alexis Sanchez, Inter Milan. I don't want to jinx it, but lads, I think finally, after 10 years of trying, Italy has finally found a new league champion. Now, unless Inter Milan utterly collapse and throw away their 6-point lead at the top and 7-point lead over Juventus, then yeah, Antonio Conte is about to conquer the biggest challenge of his career. And Alexis Sanchez, a guy who won at Old Trafford who's arguably the most overpaid professional on the planet, just strolling about like a human pumpkin, this is a guy who, by all rights, should have probably been sentenced to the Chinese retirement leagues. Well, this season, he's got 5 goals and 6 assists, including a match-winning double against Parma last week. No, it's not the Sanchez of old, but lads, at 32, he's finally going to win just his 2nd ever European League title and first since 2013. And let's be honest, whoever saw this coming? Newcastle, James Tavernier at Rangers. This is mental. Tell any Newcastle fan back in 2012 when James Tavernier was just some forgotten right back who couldn't even squeeze his way past James Perch, a guy given a couple of Europa League appearances against Greek plumbers. Tell them then that there's nobody defender loaned out to Gateshead and Carlisle would soon captain an historic club like Rangers to the Scottish Premier League title and scoring over 60 goals for the club. Yes, 60. He's a right back. He's already got 17 goals this season for our Rangers team, who've won all but 4 league games this season. Not only is he seen as captain material by a European champion like Stevie G, who when he was on Tyneside were stuck to the foot of the Scottish 3rd tier, with half their squad probably sleeping in caravans. Sheffield United, nobody. Okay, listen, Kyle Walker is going to win the league this season, but he wasn't a Sheffield United flop, so for this one, I guess there is no real Blades flop that would fit the bill. So moving on, Southampton, ARTUR, BORUC, Legia Warsaw. Let's be honest, Southampton have been cursed with the goalkeeping mistakes since the days of Anthony Niemi. For the last 15 years, they've gone through goalies like damp Kleenex tissues. ARTUR BORUC only lasted 2 seasons, signing from Fiorentina back in 2012, and conceded an avalanche of goals before being binned off to Bournemouth after less than 50 Premier League games. Well, even at 41 years of age, he's about to lift his first league title since 2008, winning the Polish league title with Legia Warsaw, something he hasn't done since 2002. Well done, ARTUR. The guy's nearly 50 and still winning leagues. Tottenham, Kieran Trippier, Atletico Madrid. Okay, yes, I realised Kieran Trippier was not a Tottenham flop. Good Christ, he was a damn success arriving from Burnley. But speak to any Spurs fan about his final season at the club, and they'll tell you he was a washed-up Teletubby masquerading as a right back. A fella distracted by his own hype after the 2018 World Cup. A guy finished as a top-class defender, apparently. Well, he's currently top of La Liga and about to finish above historic Spanish giants, while the twin perils of Serge Aurier and Matt Doherty are both stuck 8th in the league. West Brom, KEMAR, ROOFE, Rangers. Yeah, KEMAR ROOFE has just won the first piece of silver in his career, winning the Scottish Premier League title by Rangers, and it all started when he failed to make the grade at West Brom, utterly ignored for 6 years before being sold to Oxford in 2015. Well, considering he spanked in 12 goals for Rangers this season, including a Puskás Award contender in Europe, I'm pretty sure Big Sam Allardyce would rip off his jaw to put ROOFE in the Baggies team. Christ, when ROOFE was at the Hawthorns, it was all about Sidebar. He knows the next great hope of that club. Well, you tell me, lads, which player would you rather now? West Ham, Sebastien Haller, Ajax. Well, this was quick. Sebastien Haller only left West Ham 5 minutes ago. But yes, his £40 million centre forward with the movement of a snowman is currently 9 points clear at the top of the Eredivisie with Ajax, playing for a club about to hoover up their 3rd league title on the bounce. After recently finishing runner-up 4 times running, I think it's safe to say the era of Ajax dominance is back. Wolves, Pedro Goncalves, Sporting Lisbon. How ironic that when Sporting Lisbon cashed in on Bruno Fernandes, selling arguably the club's best player since Cristiano Ronaldo, that it's gonna surely coincide in that club finally lifting their first Portuguese title since 2002. Just utterly mental. The reason they're currently 10 points clear of Porto is largely largely down to who they replaced Bruno with. Pedro Goncalves, a 22-year-old playmaker never given his chance at Wolves before being dumped back to Portugal via Famalicão. When Sporting fans heard they were replacing a generational talent like Bruno Fernandes with a piece of championship deadwood like Pedro, they could realistically have spent the night weeping under their hand. But lads, he's got 15 goals and 3 assists in just 20 league games, including a goal spurt of 10 goals in just 6 damn matches. Not only will the 22-year-old currently walk into the Wolves team, but lads, he'll probably soon be linked to Real Madrid and Man United. This guy is the modern day Bruno Fernandes, and he was treated at Wolves like an empty tin of baked beans. That's it, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? What players have I missed? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.